The first semifinal at Arch Madness at the half. It is UIC up 7, 34-27 over Drake. Let's take a look at some of the first half stats from this game. Drake 11 of 28 shooting for 39%. They were 4 of 13 from three-point range at 31%. Only shot one free throw in the first half. They did make it. UIC 14 of 31 shooting in that first half for 45%. They were just 2 of 12, though, from three-point range. 17% and 4 for 7 from the free throw line at 57%. Big rebound edge for UIC in that first half, 21-12. 6 first half turnovers for Drake. UIC turned it over 5 times. Individual scoring in this first half, UIC was led by Rashawn Washington Jr.'s 11 points. 6 points apiece from Abdul Momo and Mekhi Lowry, 5 out of Andy Johnson, 4 points out of Elijah Crawford, 2 points from Ahmad Henderson II. All but 2 points for UIC came from their starters. They had just 2 bench points in that first half. Drake was led by Jalen Quinn, 7 points. Eli Shetler added 6. 5 points apiece from Oku Federico and Owen Larson. 2 points apiece from Griffin Goodberry and Isaiah Carr. Drake themselves only had 4 bench points in that first half. So not a lot of production from either bench in that first half. In a 34-27 lead for UIC at the break. Taking a look at some other scores from across the country of some conference tournament games, we have our first auto bid participant for the NCAA tournament that came out of the NEC. Well, hello there, Travis, in the live chat. Good to have you with us. They're only down 7, so I wouldn't count them out yet. They only shot 39% in that first half, so we'll see. Is it 11 games? I knew it was either 10 or 11. I knew it was up there, but it is 11 game streak, trying to make it 12. Back to the auto. The first auto bid has been clinched, and that was out of the Northeast Conference. Even though it was only a semifinal game. If you missed why this is, I'll explain. I explained it earlier, but I'll explain it again here in just a second. Long Island has defeated Wagner in the NEC semifinal 64-56. Earlier in the NEC, in the other semifinal game out of the Northeast Conference, Mercyhurst defeated Stonehill 56-51. So the championship game in the NEC will be Mercyhurst and Long Island. However, with this semifinal win, Long Island has punched their ticket officially to the NCAA tournament because Mercyhurst is in that transition period. They're only in their second year in Division I. Of course, there's that 4-year transitional period, the absolute dumbest rule in the NCAA. So they cannot go to the NCAA tournament. So therefore, the NEC would take whoever Mercyhurst plays, which is Long Island. So even if Long Island loses the NEC championship game, they are in the NCAA tournament thanks to Mercyhurst being in that transitional period. Long Island is 23-10, I believe. Let me look that up real quick. Yes, with that win today, they are now 23-10. But the NEC is one of the lowest rated conferences. So even if Long Island would win the NEC championship game at 24-10, well, at 24, I was going to say they'll probably still be in the first 4, but at 24 wins, that may not be true. But Yeah, so but you almost normally every year see an NEC team in the first four because the conference is ranked so low. But if Long Island ends up winning that conference at 24 wins, I'd find it very hard to believe that a 24-win team would be put in the first four. But we'll see we'll have to see how these other conference tournaments throughout the weeks square off. But here we go, underway, half number 2, Bulldogs basketball. Quinn goes inside, kicks it outside for a three that is blocked. Block shot for UIC, and back the other way they come for their first possession of the second half. That was Elijah Crawford that got that blocked shot for UIC. Inside, Momo has it stripped. Drake with the steal, ahead to Jay-Sean Thomas, off the glass and in for the first two of the second half. And the Bulldogs are within 5 at 34-29. Here's UIC for their second possession of half number 2. Minute old second half. With the basketball, here is Lowry. Lowry guarded by Shetler. Lowry goes over Shetler and gets bumped by Shetler. Cannot make the basket, but he will shoot 2. Mecky Lowry missed his previous 2 free throws, and he will head back to the line again. Lowry on the season, 65% free throw shooter first, and he misses again. Travis in my live chat, go Drake. Playing their third game in 3 days. The legs don't look like they're a factor yet, and Lowry finally hits a free throw as he hits the second here. 35-29. Flames up a half dozen. UIC's left some points at the free throw line, though. They're just 5 of 9 at the charity stripe. Larson gives it off to Federico. Nice look inside, but we'll pass it back outside. And now Drake Larson inside once again to Federico, and we've got a reach-in foul on UIC. That's going to go against Lowry, I believe. That'll be their first foul of the second half. Inbound comes to Shetler. Now Larson on the outside finds Federico. Federico sends it back to Larson. Larson on the drive. Left hand layup up, no good. And rebound pulled down by the Flames. Elijah Crawford brings it up for UIC. Crawford pulls up, and the alley-oop pass inside instead goes to Rashawn Washington, who slams it down. 37-29 is the UIC lead. Here's Jay-Sean Thomas for Drake. Thomas gets free. Will pull up and an air ball. Rebound to UIC. They can build the lead back to double digits with the basket. Crawford gives it off to Lowry. Back outside to Crawford. Back over to Lowry. Lowry on the outside. Shot clock down to 12. Lowry gets cut off as he tries to drive inside. And will now kick it out. Shot clock down to 5. UIC is going to have to put something up here. Washington gets free inside and draws a foul. Washington will shoot 2. What's your question here, Travis? Drake's past turning success has helped them here, or is the whole team, including coaches, so new that it's hard to say that because Drake, it's a brand new team from last year. And so I can't say that really is playing a factor as the first free throw is good here. I still can't. I mentioned this in the first half, looking at how Drake's played these first 2 games. I still can't fathom how they went on that 9-game losing streak and didn't win an entire game the month of February. That's just hard to fathom the way I've seen them play the first 2 days here in St. Louis. 2 free throws are good here to extend the Flames lead to 10. But no, I don't think the past really has anything to do with this team. Larson gets free for a three and hits it. That's a big three for the Bulldogs. Owen Larson now with 5 in the game. 39-32. UIC's lead is 7. 3 minutes old, second half. Crawford with the ball for UIC. Crawford sends it back outside. And the Flames will reset. Here's Washington. Washington now looking to drive. Washington gets inside, up and under, and somehow got it to go. Rashawn Washington Jr., I have no idea how he got that shot to go in. That was an acrobatic shot right there. 41-32. Flames up 9. Shetler and a nice pass inside off the glass. No good on the shot by Larson, but he is fouled and will shoot 2. First free throw up and good. Larson can cut it back to 7 again with the second free throw. And he got it. 41-34. I like Coach Henderson. I really do. Like I say, I know it's basically a brand new team. I know he had a couple guys come over with him from South Dakota State, but it's basically a brand new Summit League and Missouri Valley are different styles. So it's going to take a year of adjusting, but I like what I've seen out of him so far. Three-pointer by Washington off the left side rim, no good, and back come the Bulldogs. Shetler tries a deep three. That's short. Rebound to UIC. Drake fans were ready to explode on that one, but unable to hit. Elijah Crawford with it now for UIC. Kicks it outside to Andy Johnson. Johnson now spins, gets in the paint, goes underneath, and the shot is good. 43-34. Flames back up 9 rather. Quinn, right hand layup, no, but he's fouled, and he will go to the line. That'll bring us to our first time out of the second half with 15:27 remaining. Flames up 9, 43-34. Drake will be at the free throw line on the other side of the timeout. So UIC's been able to keep Drake at arm's length so far here in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half. Drake did get it down to 5 at one point. It was 34-27 UIC at halftime. Again, one more semifinal to come. Northern Iowa and Bradley. That game is slated for a 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central tip. That's all going to depend on the length of this game. Trying to get some of these other scores. Been having trouble getting my score thing on my phone to load today. So the Big South Championship is now set. That will be tomorrow. Actually, I take that back. The second semifinal is not quite, it's just about complete, but High Point, the number 1 seed, is in the Big South Championship game. Looks like they're going to be playing Winthrop. Winthrop's up 71-63 on Presbyterian. Just over 2 minutes left in that one. Travis, there's actually been a lot of talk on social media today. I'm reading your comments here. These conference tourneys, there's a lot of people around the country that are starting to want these conference tournaments to go the way of like the Sun Belt, where you go in that ladder format. Free throw here is good because I get what they're saying. The number 1 seed, like Belmont yesterday, you have a bad game and 3 months worth of work to get 26 wins is gone in one game. So I get what they're saying, but that kind of takes the March feel out of the conference tournaments out that way. 2 free throws here makes it 43-36. Back to a 7-point lead for UIC. Johnson pass to Momo. Momo missed it long. Tip no. Rebound pulled down by the Bulldogs. And back comes Drake the other way. Quinn will slow it up and run the offense for Drake. 15-minute mark, second half. Larson. Inside it goes here to Carr. Carr almost lost it. Quinn will kick it back out. 10 to shoot. Here's Larson. Larson on the drive. Kick outside for a 3. Good! And that's down to a 4-point game. 43-39. And here come the Drake fans rising to their feet at the Enterprise Center. Shetler now has 9 points on 3 3-pointers at the other end and 1 on the layup for Lowry. A big answer for UIC. Mecky Lowry trying to complete the 3-point play to push the lead back to 7. And it's good. Yeah, Travis, I'm not a huge social media guy. I'm on X. That's the only one I'm on. I don't even do Facebook, TikTok. That stuff got a little bit too toxic for me. Actually, to be honest, I never had a TikTok or anything. But here's Larson. Reverse layup gets it to go. Owen Larson with the reverse to make it 46-41. Lowry with it on the outside for UIC. Now Crawford sends it out to Johnson. Johnson on the drive, almost lost it, and now almost a turnover, but it is off of Drake. 2 seconds on the shot clock for UIC. They're going to have to put up a 3 here. Off the inbound, no good, but another offensive rebound for the Flames. Crawford for 3 in the corner, and it's good. Elijah Crawford. And that 3 was possible because of yet another offensive rebound. Drake in 11, or a UIC an 11 rebound edge on Drake in this one. Carr. Off now to Quinn. Quinn gets inside but gets cut off. We'll send it back outside to Larson. 10 on the shot clock. 3-point shot on the way is good. A big answer for Drake. 49-44. We'll lead back down to 5. At the other end, shot no good. Rebound pulled down by Shetler. Travis, I'll answer that question here at the next timeout. Quinn with it. Quinn looking for room, guarded by Johnson. Quinn now looking for some help. Bounce pass over now to Carr. Carr back out to Quinn. 8 to shoot for Drake. Quinn. And knocked out of bounds by UIC. It will stay Drake ball. 4 on the shot clock. No, Travis, you're totally fine. I was going to say that. I want to answer your question, but it may be a little bit of a long answer because I have a problem keeping my answer short. So here's a three-pointer. That's no good. Rebound pulled down by UIC. But I'll get into that here at the next timeout. Behind the back pass here, and a slowdown here for the Flames as they run the offense with 12 minutes remaining. And that's going to be a travel. Silverstein couldn't keep his pivot foot down, and he is called for steps. And that brings us to the under 12. 49-44. Bulldogs hanging around with the Flames with an Arch Madness championship game berth on the line. Travis, to answer your question on that, do I think the other conferences are going to do that? I do. I think the West Coast Conference has actually had that for a little while. I don't see like the Missouri Valley or anybody like that doing that. Now, the MAC, which I am not a fan of this at all, the MAC only takes like the top 8 teams, and they have, 13 teams in the league? They only take the top 8, so they only take the best teams. I'm not a real big fan of that format either. If you have a conference, your conference tournament, you need to find a way to have everybody in there. So I'm not a big fan of only taking a certain amount of teams either. So, I mean, but that's the risk you take. These conference tournaments, we all know, they make way too much money. They are not going anywhere. I could see a scenario eventually down the road because, they're talking about this, expanding the NCAA tournament, which is going to happen sooner rather than later. I can see a situation where you're going to expand the tournament, and then you're going to have possibly down the road, if it expands to enough teams, you could see a conference tournament champ as well as the regular season champ end up getting in there eventually. Maybe that's the best way to go. That's probably, if they do that, that will probably take the NIT completely out of the ballgame, or at least the CBI, which that CBI is not an NCAA tournament or NCAA event anyway, but that will probably make those tournaments basically non-existent. I'll just go ahead and say it if you do that. I could see him going that route, but I couldn't see these conferences like the MAC. Yeah, like that's what I was talking about. I don't see all the conferences going down that road. No. Because then if you do that like the Sun Belt does, that tournament with their ladder style, that thing goes on for almost a week. So you have to figure you're going to have to pay extra expense for renting the venue for longer, and some of these conferences don't want to do that. Missouri Valley is a bad example because they have a great relationship with St. Louis. As many times I've been over there, Missouri Valley Conference headquarters is like a mile away from the Enterprise Center, so they're not going anywhere. But so the Missouri Valley might not be a good example, but 49-44 is our score. Yes, I agree. I like it at 68. I like it at 68 right now. 68 is fine. Although I've got another comment about that, which I'll say at the next timeout. Drake brings the ball up here. Larson with it. Larson on the drive. Turnaround jumper. Short. Rebound UIC. That would have cut it down to 3. Lowry brings it up for the Flames. Lowry on the outside for UIC. Lowry pulls up to the left of the foul line and gets it to go. Mecky Lowry now with 10 as he gets into double figures. 51-44. Drake's been able to get it down to 5, but cannot get any closer here in the second half. Larson over to Carr. Carr sends it outside, and we've got a bump here on UIC. That's going to be their 5th foul here in the second half. Inbound it comes to Goodberry. Now Larson on the outside. Larson with it. Larson driving. Larson sends it out. Shot clock down to 4 and a strip. Drake's going to have to put a shot up here. Larson has to launch a 3. It's off the front of the rim. Offensive rebound for Carr. A rare offensive rebound for Drake. Fresh 20 seconds. Here's Larson. Larson, great pass inside. Goodberry off the glass. Can't get it to drop. Gets his own rebound and misses the putback. Rebound for UIC. Crawford with the ball as the UIC fans are on their feet. Lowry just holding the ball at quarter court on the Arch Madness logo. Midway point, second half. Lowry. Shot clock at 7. Here's a floater that will not drop. Offensive rebound again for UIC. Their 8th offensive rebound. Three-pointer, however, is blocked, but we're going to have a foul on the three-point shot. Jalen Quinn is called for a foul on the three-point shot, and 3 free throws upcoming for UIC. Yeah, he did bump into him. That is foul number 3 on Quinn. That is a big, big foul for Drake. First of 3 free throws is good. What a turn of events this could be. Henderson's second free throw is good. Hey, Travis, in the live chat, we're talking about, yes, 68 is fine, but there's one thing I would like to see changed about the 68-team format, and I'll talk about, like I said, I'll talk about that here at the next time out. Missed the third free throw, so the lead is 9, and UIC tries to save it, but it's out of bounds over to Drake. Up the floor come the Bulldogs with Quinn. Quinn looking to drive. Left hand, no, but he's fouled. And Jalen Quinn will go to the line for 2 for Drake. First of 2 for Quinn is good. Second free throw also good. That will bring the Bulldogs back within 7, and a timeout is called here by Coach Henderson and Drake. 9:36 to go, 53-46, UIC up 7. Travis, this is answer to your little comment here with the 68-team field. I think the NCAA tournament is fine where it is at 68. The one thing I would like to see changed is the first 4 format. Oh, you got Florida Atlantic, Wichita State. Wichita State trying to clinch the 2 seed in the American with that. One thing I would like to see changed in the first 4 format. The first 4 games, I think, should be the last 8 at-large teams. I'm sorry, I don't care what conference you play in. If you win your conference tournament, where they say you get an automatic bid, that's how it's always been. If you win your conference tournament to get an automatic bid, you should not be having to play in the first four. If you win your conference tournament, you should automatically be in the main tournament. You should not have to win your conference tournament, then have to win a first four game to get qualified. No, first four should not be, that should be for the last 8 at-large teams. You should not have to play in that if you win your conference tournament. That's the one thing I would like to see changed. Jay King jumping in here. Will Drake win? They're hanging around here as they're down 7. Drake has hit a little bit of a shooting drought here. They're down to 37%. UIC shooting 48%. Big rebound edge for UIC, 30-19. Drake being held to 46 points here the first 30 minutes in this game after putting 100 up on the regular season champions yesterday from Belmont. Kobe Butterworth on the live chat saying Drake's going to pull this out. Well, we'll find out. Flames bring it up the floor here with Henderson. Henderson with it. On now outside now to Washington. Try to get it inside. They do, and the shot off the mark. On a bounds, it will stay. No, it won't. It's going to go to Drake. Yeah, Travis, I love mid-major ball. That's why on my live streams, I try to do more mid-majors than the major conferences. For that reason, they just don't get the exposure. I wasn't able to do as many this year as I wanted to, but again, I'm still fairly new with this thing. So hopefully next year that'll change. Here's a 3 for Drake. No, that was around the rim and rolled off. Rebound to UIC. Washington over now to Henderson, who will run the offense. 8:45 to play. Washington with it now. Washington driving, gets cut off, finds Henderson in the corner, missed the 3. Ball tipped right into the hands of Washington, who gets the easy layup underneath. 55-46. Flames lead back to 9 again. Thomas with it on the outside. Thomas looking to drive, off balance, turnaround, no good. And we have a foul on UIC on the rebound as Federico gets taken down to the floor. Yeah, Drake not having nearly as good a shooting game as they did. And you have to wonder, this being their 3rd game in 3 days, if the legs are starting to get heavy. Larson to inbound, but threw it out of bounds. A bad inbound pass by Larson, and the Bulldogs turn it over. And now UIC with a chance for a double-digit lead once again. Here's the drive inside. Henderson inside, a big dunk for Washington on the feed from Henderson. 57-46, UIC by 11. Drake needing a basket desperately this trip. Quinn turns it over instead. That's the 10th Drake turnover. Open 3 on the way. No, that was a little quick, but another offensive rebound for the Flames. 7.5 to go. UIC. And now a deep three-pointer is good. Henderson with the three, and the Flames have their largest lead now of 14, 60-46. Goodberry with it for Drake. Goodberry throws it off UIC. It will stay Drake ball. 6:51 to go. Flames starting to pull away a little bit, leading 60-46. Flames starting to feel their first ever trip to the Arch Madness championship game. Oh, what you got for me here, Travis? The conference leaving out lower seeds. I don't mind them having to play an extra game. I get why the Sun Belt and West Coast Conference do the format they do. I think the Southland Conference, is another one that does that. I get it, but yeah, you've got to take everybody, though. I mean, you can't invite, like the Big Ten. I know they have 18 teams now, and I think last year they said, well, the tournament format, though, we can only do 16 teams because that's going to take too long if we do 18. Well, you're the ones that invited them in, so. You have a feeling this is danger time right now for the Bulldogs as they face a 14-point deficit. That try looks like this one is over. It's UIC starting to get some breathing room here, so Drake's going to have to 36% shooting. They're going to have to find some kind of offense here. Yeah, shooting the way they did yesterday against Belmont, they are just not having that same kind of shooting success in this game today. And again, is that because the legs super heavy, being their third game in what they start? What was that Thursday game? 4:30, and then had to play at 1 yesterday, so that's 20 hours, and then having to play again here 23. So what is this? 3 games in less than a 45-hour span. So, I mean, you've got to figure the legs are probably starting to get pretty heavy. If Coach Henderson can keep this, basically the core of this team together, I think you're going to see Drake back up at the top of the league before too long. Off the inbound here, we've got a foul on UIC. And Drake will be heading to the free throw line. So a chance to get points here with the clock stopped for the Bulldogs. Goodberry at the line, first of 2, short. And now with the shots coming up short, that's what makes me even more think that the legs are getting pretty heavy. Second one is good. 60-47, 6:45 to go. Lowry brings it up across the timeline for the Flames. Lowry sends it outside now to Henderson. Henderson looking for room. Henderson gives it off now to Momo, who got hung up in the air and put up a wild shot, and back come the Bulldogs the other way. Quinn. Here comes Drake run the offense. This is Goodberry over to Isaiah Carr. And now Larson with it. 10 to shoot for Drake. 6 to go, second half. Larson inside to Carr. Carr up off the glass and in for Isaiah Carr. And that'll make it 60 to 49 as Drake has pulled within 11. Still time for the Bulldogs. There's still 5:40 to go. Lowry with the ball for UIC. Lowry sends it back outside. Top of the key. Three-pointer is good. Another three for UIC, and the lead just like that balloons back to 14. 63-49. Goodberry. Nice bounce pass inside there, and a foul is called as Quinn goes up for the shot. I think they're going to get Washington on the foul. First free throw is short again. Second is no good either. Flames will walk it up the floor and start to use a little bit of clock as we hit 5 minutes to play. And Momo's fouled inside. That's going to be a foul on Goodberry of Drake. Team foul number 5 here in the second half on the Bulldogs. Inbound here. Lowry. Bounce pass inside to Momo. He'll spin. He will send it back outside to Johnson, and Johnson took too many steps and is called for traveling, which will give the ball back to Drake. Drake just won for their last 9 from the floor, and they turn it over once again. And the Flames again going to work on the clock here as we're under 4.5 to play. Here's a three-pointer on the way, around and out. Rebound pulled down by Larson of Drake. Good ball movement, and a three-pointer in the corner is blocked. And now Washington has it for the Flames. Over now to Henderson. And now a timeout is called by UIC with 3:54 to go. Flames 63-49 over Drake. So with 3:54 to go, UIC trying to hang on and get their 19th victory of the season. And Drake's chances for a four-peat as far as Arch Madness championships go, starting to look a little bleak. Again, Northern Iowa and Bradley to follow 35 minutes after this one. Bradley, the highest seed remaining at Arch Madness as the 2 seed. They had to fight off a pesky Valparaiso team. Double overtime win for Bradley. Northern Iowa handled Illinois State pretty handily in the quarters. Jalen Quinn, another 14 points tonight. I don't think there's any question when the all-tournament team comes out tomorrow, you're going to have to throw him on there. He has given everything for Drake in this tournament. Inbound comes here to Johnson for UIC. Ball deflected into the backcourt by Drake. And now an alley-oop and over to Washington. On the feed from Elijah Crawford. That may be your exclamation point right there. 65-49. Three-pointer at the other end, no good. Rebound pulled down by Lowry. And UIC will be very content to work on the clock at this point. And a foul here on Drake. That'll be the 6th team foul, the last foul to give for the Bulldogs. Big 2-1 edge on points in the paint in this game for UIC too, 38-18. Johnson with it. Now to Crawford. 3 to shoot for the Flames. Johnson will launch a 3 that's short, but another offensive rebound for UIC as Lowry pulls down the board. We're under 3 minutes. Johnson on the outside is fouled by Jayshon Thomas. Oh, Travis, thank you for tuning in, man. Even though it's looking like Drake's run's going to end, hope to still have you joining me, man. Fun time of year. First free throw is good. One more free throw coming. And it's good. $67-49, layup at the other end, no good. Follow is for Goodberry. Timeout called by the Bulldogs. Next to last timeout for Drake, 67-51, 2:36 remaining. Andy Johnson, get in. Yeah, he's been playing here for UIC. He's got 7 points. Appreciate the question there. Looks like if reality is starting to set in on the Bulldog fans, as their chances for a four-peat as Arch Madness champions looking like they're about to come to an end here. Flames get it in, and a hard foul here by Larson as he fouls Crawford. First of the 1-1 is good. Second one is no good. 68-51, 2.5 to go. Bounce pass inside to Jay-Sean Thomas. Thomas tries to go over Momo. That shot was altered. And the Flames come out with it. Flames can take this under 2 minutes. Crawford, foul line jumper is good. Elijah Crawford now has 10. He becomes the 4th Flame in double figures today. 3-pointer at the other end for Larson. That's too strong. Knocked out of bounds. It will stay Drake ball. 1:44 to go. Larson with the inbound that is stolen by UIC, and Crawford with the layup. For your exclamation point for UIC. Got a timeout called here. The conclusion of this game, I will run down the final stats and then sign off for about 25 minutes. I will be back on just prior to the second semifinal for between Northern Iowa and Bradley. Hopefully he'll come back and join me for that one, as UIC is about to punch their ticket to the Arch Madness Championship game for the first time since joining the Valley. Here's Larson. Off now to Quinn. Quinn's jumper is short. Ball will go out of bounds. It will stay with the Bulldogs. Three-pointer on the way. That's short. Rebound to UIC. And they will take this down under a minute. The Flame fans come to their feet. Just dribbling here with 5 on the shot clock. A three-pointer on the way. No. Rebound pulled down by Drake. Federico has it. Final 40 seconds. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Bulldogs run through the MVC tournament as the 9 seed is going to come to an end here. And shot clock is off. UIC can dribble out the rest of this game. Johnson gets across the midcourt and will just dribble this out. Final 10 seconds. As the final seconds tick away and Coach Rob Eson and the UIC Flames into the Arch Madness Championship game for the first time since joining the Missouri Valley Conference. They win this going away. 72-51 over Drake, the final score. And UIC will play for an Arch Madness title, an NCAA tournament berth tomorrow afternoon. A Drake team that hung 100 points on the regular season champions from Belmont just could not find that offense in this game today. And the Flames end the run of 3 consecutive Arch Madness championships for Drake and will have a chance for their first tomorrow. UIC improves to 19-14. Drake's season ends at 14-20. Quickly run down the final stats here. UIC 27 of 56 for 48%. They were 5 of 22 from three-point range, 23%, and 13 of 19 at the free throw line for 68%. Drake offense just wasn't there today. 18 of 56 for 32%. They were 7 of 27 from 3 at 26%. 8 of 11 at the free throw line for 73%. Big rebound edge for UIC, 40-28 in this game. Drake turned it over 10 times. UIC turned it over 8. 4 in double figures today for the Flames, led by Rashund Washington Jr.'s 23 points. Mecky Lowry and Elijah Crawford added 12 apiece. Ahmad Henderson off the bench with 10 points. 8 points out of Abdul Momo and 7 out of Andy Johnson to wrap up the scoring for UIC in this one. Drake able to put 2 in double figures. Jalen Quinn with 14 points led the way. Owen Larson added 12. Eli Shetler, 9 points, 5 points apiece from Oku Federico and Griffin Goodberry. 4 points out of Isaiah Carr and 2 points out of Jay Sean Thomas to wrap up the scoring for the Bulldogs as UIC wins it 72-51. UIC, the first team to punch their ticket to the championship game, and now we will see if they will play the Northern Iowa Panthers or the Bradley Braves in the championship game. That game gets underway in about 30 minutes. I will be back on here in about 25 minutes. Get you set for that Northern Iowa Bradley game, the second semifinal at Arch Madness. For now, I'm going to sign off. We'll be back with you here in about 25 minutes to get you set for Northern Iowa and Bradley to see who joins UIC to play for the Arch Madness Championship. Brief pause here. Hopefully you can come back and join me in 25 minutes for that second semifinal between Northern Iowa and Bradley. For now, I'll step aside, and I'll be back here in about 25 minutes.